Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined this evening with Makobura. Makobura, how are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing good. I thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Hata mimi na kusalimu mahali ulipo.
Mm.
Unaendelea vipi?
I'm doing fine. Did you make it to work today?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up in the morning as usual.
Yeah.
But when I got to the stage, there were no vehicles.
Mm.
There were no matatus. So I was unable, not just me, majority, quite a number of people were unable to get to work today
Mm.
because of the demonstrations which were going on in the entire country.
Yeah.
I was unable,
Mm-hmm.
not just to be majority, quite
Sorry,
a number of
that's my
people were
side.
unable to get.
Okay. Okay. Majority of the towns were protesting for the fuel prices. Kisumu was quite much different. There was the matatus were operating as usual, and there were some posters that were um, hung around. I think that could be the Kisumu roundabout, and it was unusual. And when it comes to fuel prices, there's one thing that we have to agree, Mr. Makobura, that it is a global crisis. But what kind of like make it different is how do the government of the day, especially even the government in those areas in African states, how are they managing it? Remember, the other day, a few days ago or weeks, I saw Suluhu Hassan was downgrading the number of vehicles that they're operating as a government. They were taking some precaution measures, you know. But what are we doing as a country? Because we have to agree, one, that it is a global crisis. It is not something that only Kenya is facing. But now, what are we supposed to do? Or what are the mechanisms that Kenya, especially Kenyan government or President William Ruto administration should do? Before we even look to that, maybe on when you are on the internet or looking at what is happening, how are the scenes, especially in Nairobi?
Okay, of course, it wasn't a good scene. We saw quite a number of people
Mm.
getting out
Yeah.
to partly participate. Even where I stay, I was surprised that when I just got out of the gate, I saw people burning tires here and there. And all that is a sign that the people are not happy. First, about the high price of fuel, which, according to them, if you I had the opportunity to hear what they were saying, and they're saying that how is it that Uganda is a landlocked country,
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia is a landlocked country, but they're selling fuel slightly cheaper than what is being sold here in the Republic of Kenya. And some of the questions that are also coming up is that why is it that the fuel going to Uganda or to Rwanda,
Mm-hmm.
it either passes through Kenya or Tanzania? If it does so, then that means that there is amount that Kenyan government partly gets out of it. And if it gets to Uganda or Rwanda, it should be higher than what is being sold here in the Republic of Kenya. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the clarifications that they need or they want the government to give. And again, I looked at, I did an analysis again, and I realized that even the people with their personal vehicles were not moving today,
Yeah.
and that tells you that the economy is going to find it. I mean, the people are going to find it tough. The economy is also not going to move on
Mm-hmm.
as it has always moved, because when things are on standstill,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes tough. And again, uh, you know, the other question that then comes is why is it that we have a government that has always
Mm-hmm.
told us how best they can manage the situation? Remember, President William Samoei Ruto, when he was campaigning, he spoke about the issue of fuel, and he used to say that there are cartels
Mm-hmm.
within the fuel sector that are determining the high price. And partly, according to him, in that particular time, he
Mm-hmm.
used to say that the cartels are receiving some bribes, and that is why part of the high pricing in the fuel,
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain amount that is going to the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that once he got the opportunity to become the president, he would dismantle the cartels. We are surprised that today, him as the driver or as the president,
Yeah.
the people of Kenya are finding it a little bit tough to even believe what he had said.
Mm-hmm.
And his men who are supposed to be coming out to partly, make the situation look a little bit good or better, they're the people who are coming out to give messages which are not right. If you had the cabinet secretary in charge of treasury, if you had him speak, you'll ask yourself whether he is working for the people or he is, you ask yourself quite a number of questions,
Mm-hmm.
and that is not easy. People came out within the Republic of Kenya, quite a number of places in Nairobi, in Kiambu, in Thika. We saw some in Kapsabet. What we did not witness so much was the lowland. That
Mm-hmm.
lowland mostly has always been the center stage of demonstration. This time around, we did not see an active response to these particular demos. What surprised me is I saw some posters, but probably you understand the political leaders of Lowland, they probably went and made the banners and partly maybe threatened the people not to get to the street
Yeah.
to
Okay.
participate. Because if you look at what the messages which were on those banners, you wouldn't get those messages coming from the ordinary people.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw a citizen from Siaya County asked about the same, he said that Kwanzaa, the people who has let us down are the few Luos who are given the opportunity to serve in this government. And again, they accepted a position which they were not supposed to accept, according to that man, because he was saying that the energy department and the treasury department are the most crucial dockets, and that
Mm-hmm.
if you're given those opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
if there are opportunities that there is a high rate that you will not probably manage, and that is why they have started accusing the likes of Mbadi and the likes of Wandai as being incompetent.
Okay, but now before we go to the incompetency and even what is happening in the lowland, because majority of them did not come out to protest, especially on the strike that was supposed to be going on. I can see our good friend here, Lucky Star. Good evening, long-lived friend. Good evening, my brother. There's a culture, especially in the protest, that I'm seeing ourselves not getting out of as a country. Especially one, the relationship between the police and the people, and the protesters themselves. Because, like, if you are very keen, there were some vehicles that were touched. There are some supermarket, especially you go to Naivasha. Naivasha, there are quite Ketias. I think it's Ketias in Naivasha that was raided, and goods were stolen.
Nyeri as well.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Nyeri,
think it was in Nyeri. Yeah.
it is Nyeri. So, and Naivasha too. There's that looting that has taken place, and even like CS Murkomen, as was talking about some 15 minutes ago, says that looting, violence, and vandalizing the protest cannot bring oil prices down. um where are we as a country? Because, like, at this particular moment in time, when we are expressing frustration, or when Kenyan people are expressing frustration of what government is not doing, or government should take action, you find that they end up attacking, or they end up causing damage to the dairy Kenyans. And these are the shops where their sons, their daughters, and their mothers are employed. That after the fuel crisis, they will want to go back to those areas and work. Why do we usually get it wrong?
Uh, Brother Ben, I don't support vandalizing things or looting.
Yeah,
But what is happening in Kenya is whenever there are demonstration or anything that is going to involve the public or
yeah.
people getting to the street,
Hmm.
I can tell you for free, you will forever witness people vandalizing properties. You will forever witness people looting. The reason being, there's a high number of youths outside here
Mhm,
who do not have what we call job opportunities.
mhm,
And, most of them are learned, most of them have partly qualified and should be having an opportunity either working somewhere. But what is happening is that they do not have that capacity. I mean, they do not have that privilege. They do not have the job opportunities. So you
mhm,
find that deep down, if you interact with them on the lower side, you will realize that there's a lot of frustration amongst these
mhm,
particular youths. There's a
mhm.
lot of frustration amongst these particular people
Yeah.
because the pain in them is that they have gone to school, they have a government that should be ensuring that there is opportunity for them, and currently they do not have the opportunity. So whenever these particular demonstrations are called, I can tell you these people will come out and participate fully. And their wish is this demonstration should be called on a daily basis because they have nothing to do. They
Mhm,
have no other opportunity. They have nowhere to wake up in the morning and go, they have no work.
mhm,
So we are going to witness this for quite some time unless the government comes up with a strategy that is going to absolve the unemployed youths who are currently not having the opportunity to serve in whichever capacities. So them they're just coming out to
mhm,
fulfill or to give out the anger that is in them. They want to survive. Remember, these people want to survive. As much as they do not have the job,
mhm,
as much as they do not have the opportunity, whenever these particular demos are called, they
mhm.
want to take that advantage to just get out and get what they can get. They will not care whether it is somebody's, that is what is happening.
Okay. Maybe let's come again to the fuel prices. As if you're somebody who was doing the business, you always would predict what is coming in the future and put up mechanism on how am I going to combat, or you need to be like proactive. You know, when the issue of fuel crisis came, especially the war that was taking place between the countries, that is Israel and Iran. This was something that was expected. And at some point, the CS for energy, that is Opio, and I actually assured Kenya, even Mbadi assured Kenya that everything is under control, which, as we speak today, has turned out to be not true because, like, we've gone to the crisis. When you look at the part of the government, do you see that government uh, can call Kenyans to reason, or some of the leaders that have been given opportunity to head those dockets are are um, are kind of like not respecting Kenyans? Because like even you, as you people who are going to the church, there's a section where the Bible verse that said, "Please let us come and reason together." This part of reasoning whereby you could call upon the Kenyan people and agree, okay, as we approach this, we know for a fact that we are headed in challenging situation, but we are calling that let's come and reason together. Do you see, especially those who are in the relevant offices, are not using the reasoning or calling Kenyan together? Let's reason, and but or more or less of chest thumping.
The problem we have in Kenya is the level of lying has gotten to another level and disrespect among that which is coming from the leadership. The leadership do not respect the citizens. That is why the president will come and lie to you. He will lie to the people of Kenya on a
Mm,
broad daylight about, you'll promise this, you'll promise this, you'll promise this, but at the end of the day, there's nothing that is going to be done. And, if the president is doing that, what about his people, his
mm,
employees, the cabinet secretaries? They're doing the same.
mhm,
I remember when this issue started, Mbadi, the cabinet secretary in charge of treasury, I saw as well the energy secretary. They came and told the people of Kenya that we are prepared, that we have enough in our stores. We are prepared. And even if even if the store gets dry, We have some formulas, we have made arrangements, and now we are going to, find our way out of this. You
Mm,
remember 2 weeks, 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks ago? But I mean, the cabinet secretary in charge of energy, Pio, and I was in parliament, and he gave the same assurance to the people. He said that we are prepared. There was a little bit of confusion here and there, but the government has brought it in order. It is currently in control. We are currently in control. I remember people asking why there was no fuel in certain petrol stations within Nairobi, and not just within Nairobi, in the entire country. And he said that there were some people who were holding on fuel, thinking or with the mentality that fuel prices was going to get high.
mm,
And now again, he did clarification that there were some ship which were bringing so many metric tons of fuel in.
yeah.
The other day, was it last week? It was confirmed that the ships docked here in Mombasa. So the question we're asking is, with that price that they came with, why are they increasing it this much? Why is it that we are seeing leaders coming out to give a narrative which is not right? Why are they lying? The good thing they're supposed to do is simply put it as it is. If it is high cost, let them come out and let the people of Kenya that we have received it at a higher cost. Please
Mhm,
prepare. This is what is going to happen. But in this situation where you wake up and then you're told
mm,
fuel is 250 from 180, how
mhm,
are you supposed to move? And remember again, the employers or the government does not even increase the salaries for the employee. I mean, for the employees.
mm,
There's no, you find that if people normally do a budget of their life based on the salary that they get.
yeah.
You realize currently people are spending much on transport more than any other thing. And the question is, do we have a government that really cares? Why is it that they're taking much in terms of taxes within this particular fuel and not increasing? If they were increasing the salaries, then it would then make sense.
Makobura, I don't think even increasing the salary will actually, because we will invite our good friend Msimamo. When you talk about like fuel, these are the drivers, especially of the economy, and once there is effect on it, everything will be affected. So even if you increase the salary, especially I do not especially think like that one will make Kenyans, especially those who are the salary have gone up, to at least have a better living, because of their even though there will be circulation of the money, but the cost of living, especially the cost of buying products, will still be up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yesterday, I did give a clarification on what the increase in prices would mean
Mm,
to the normal Kenyans, and I did give a clarification that with the increase of fuel, it will affect the cost of food prices.
mhm,
Whenever the cost of food price has gone up, remember that is what people consume, and that is a basic need. So that becomes the typical bit
mm,
of the. I mean, that is how the people of Kenya would feel it. They will feel it on their tables, and that is a serious impact to them.
yeah.
There's going to be, of course, transport fares increasing, which already has increased. It is too
Mhm,
much. The inflation is also going to get high.
mhm,
So it is not just economics. It's I can also say it's about trust in government. Do the people of Kenya really trust this government? There's a lot of accusation here and there. People are saying that the government is looting. People are saying that the increased price, there's a certain money that is going to the in the pockets or to the pockets of individuals. So
yeah.
there's also not that there is no trust within that is from the citizens to the government, I mean to the leaders, something which is also very serious and should be looked into by the leaders, because the moment you are leading a group of people who do not trust you, then you're not doing well.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Makobura. We are still discussing the issue of fuel prices. That is in Kenya right now, that caused the protests, especially on Monday, whereby the transport was halted. And this one has affected the economy. Even if you look at the transport sector, this is the major economy, especially that contribute to major economy and revenue, especially in the country. Let me take this opportunity to welcome our friend Musimamo. Msimamo.
Yes kaka.
Habari gani?
Salama ndugu yangu, kwema?
Kwema. Labda kwanza uko vizuri. Labda tunataka kusikia maoni yako kuhusu sana yaliyojiri leo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, ambao unapata kwamba sana wenye magari leo walikuwa katika mgomo wa fuel. Labda wewe maoni yako gani?
Unajua yangu mimi ni mafupi leo, yani sitakuwa mrefu, naenda tu direct kwenye jibu lako kaka, wala sitachambua mengi. Kama hayaanguki basi lazima uyatikise. Kama hayaanguki lazima uyatikise. Kwa kuwa tunajua ni nchi ambayo ama ni sehemu ambayo tumebarikiwa na miembe. Miembe ni mingi sana, so kama yani umengojea yaanguki na yamepevuka, basi unapanda pale juu unatikisa. So hivi ni kuitikisa serikali kwamba ifanye jambo lenye tija, wasiache mpaka mgomba uanguke pamoja na ndizi, unaona, ili siku nyingine wapate kuhusika ukiwa ungali wima. Lakini yote 9 na 10, ndugu zangu wote wale upande kwenye comment section wale wanatufuatilia, wapokeza msimamo za jioni, hilo ndio litakuwa jibu langu kaka. Kwa hiyo najua fungato siku zote haiumizi mkono, lakini funga basi utaumia. Ndio kama hivi kilio kilincha muda mrefu, na kwa kweli kingefanywa kazi na wananchi wakawa na matumaini kwamba yes, matumaini ndio haya. Basi kukosa kuna matumaini, basi utakuta kwamba hii fungato kama ni kufunga sasa kwa lazima, kama tulipofikia, basi utakuta nao wenye nia mbaya wanatumia hizo fursa kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba wanaharibu wasio mali za wengine. Lakini vile vile pia unakuta kwamba kuna wale wengine wanafyatuliana na marisasi. Yani utakuta kwamba kuna vitimbi vingi tu ambavyo vinatokeza katika jambo kama hili. Lakini mwisho wa siku, je, message ni nini? Hadi yafikia hapa ya maduka kuwa looted, hadi yafikia hapa ya mgomo haswa magari country nzima, hadi yafikia hapa, chanzo ni nini? Je, ni global ama ni viongozi wetu hawakuwa wamejipanga? Kwa sababu wakisema ni global, mbona nchi jirani mafuta yako nyuma zaidi ya Kenya? So labda wananchi tunataka majibu ambayo atakuwa na tija kuhusiana hili. Kwa kwamba haya maembe hayaanguki jamani, hivi sasa ndio yanatikiswa. Kwa hivyo unaona kesho pia nije siku, kesho kutwa hivyo hivyo, na hiyo ndio desturi ya kuambiwa, kwa sababu siku zote kondoo yeye hutaka asikie zaidi, basi ni kwenye nyungu wakati anatokota pale jikoni na sauti.
Asante sana. Labda tu nikuulize swali kabla hujaenda, kwa sababu tunaona kwamba watu walikuwa wanagoma kulingana na labda wanaona kwamba serikali au yatetei ama serikali huwa inapuzilia mambo yao, na unapata kwamba watu wakienda kuandamana, unapata kwamba watu wanaenda kuchoma duka ama wanachoma magari. Unadhani kwa nini haswa ni jambo ambalo sisi tumekuwa tukiona mara mingi wakati ambao tuko na maandamano? Inamaanisha kwamba sisi kama Wakenya ama sisi kama wale ambao wanaenda kuandamana kwa sababu ya jambo hatujifundishwi ama hatujielewi kwa nini haswa tuende tukachoma duka ambaye kesho mamangu, kesho dadangu, kesho babangu, kesho dadangu, kesho ndugu yangu ataenda kufanya pale, na atuletee pesa kutoka pale itusaidie sisi kujikimu kimaisha. Mbona tunaenda tukachoma maduka haya? Kwa nini? Na hayo sio jambo ambalo tulikuwa tumeenda maandamano.
Asante. Siku zote ndugu yangu, hili jibu lako liko wazi kaka. Kwenye safari ya mamba kenge wapo. Hatuwezi jua hawa ni wananchi ambao wamefanya hivi kwa makusudi yao. Sometimes tunakuta pengine haya mambo yanafanyika pia kwa kuweza kutuma kafanyeni hivi ili kusudi sasa hii message iondoke, yaangalie athari ambayo ipo. na already tayari huu mzigo unamfinyilia mwananchi. Tulikuwa hapo katika maandamano yale mengine, wala wananchi wenyewe haswa wenye uchungu na dhiki na dharuba wanatembea pasipokuwa na maneno yoyote, watu wanatokea haswa kundi lingine ambalo litaweza kudistract na kuchanganyikana pale, wakiwa sasa haelezeki kwamba hawa ndio wananchi halisi ambao wanaandamana wala hawa ni gunzi. Ya mambo yanatokea kuweza kuchafuliana jina. Kwa hivyo kwenye safari ya mamba siku zote kenge wapo. Kwa hivyo haya yatatokea, lakini yasitospisha haswa ile mantiki ambayo haswa ipo.
Okay.
Si kama tunaeleweka kaka, hapo umenipata vizuri?
Nimekupata vizuri.
Na si kwamba naongea msimamo kwa sababu nafurahikia kwamba wale waliopoteza maisha ama wale walioharibikiwa basi mimi nafurahia. Nasema haswa ni miongoni mwa katika hii safari lazima tutachubuka, tutapata madhara, tutapata hii safari mpaka kije kisimama. Already kuna mambo kwa sababu tunaelewa haswa taifa letu haswa katika masuala mazima na maandamano. Muende peaceful, lazima pia kutatokea yenye ambayo atatokea. So it's like serikali yote ile haina haja na maandamano, na likifika jambo la maandamano ni kwamba sasa mwananchi amebanwa, amewekwa kwa ukuta. So katika hii safari ambao wanaenda hawa mamba kenge pia wapo, ndio hawa ambao wanafanya sio kwa.
Asante sana Makobura. I want to engage you especially on the CS Treasury. Today he had quite a number of interviews in a majority of the radio stations and the TV station of the country. There's something that he spoke with a lot of finality and said that Treasury Mbadi, I quote him, fuel prices to remain unchanged until June. You cannot demo, you can demo, sleep and on the road, but we don't care. That is the CS for Treasury. That is Honorable Mbadi today when he was having an interview. And apart from that, alisema kwamba watu watoe feelings kwa this. And this is coming from a leader, and we are having a crisis. When you read the tone on how he says it, with a lot of finality. So it means we are going to have this situation the way it is until June, when the April review, especially the fuel prices. What is your make, or what would you say about the statement made by Honorable Mbadi?
I'd say that there's a problem. There's a big problem with the leadership of the Republic of Kenya, and this starts from the presidency. It is the president that has shown that bad habit or bad behavior to his juniors who are simply copying from him. It is the president who has always come out to give promises which he has never ensured that they are actualized. It is the president who, at times when he feels he is not happy with things, he criticizes in a negative way. So his juniors, the people who works under him, are simply walking the same route, and they are doing a replica of what their master is doing. If you see John Mbadi giving such comments, then it only tells you that we have a leadership that do not respect the citizens. We have a leadership that do not and will not listen to the citizens, because from my understanding as a leader should be making decisions or doing giving feedbacks based on what the people are talking about, what the people are, the feedback that is getting from the people. In this situation, we are seeing a citizen that are suffering. They're suffering first based on the bad decisions that have been made by the government. They're suffering based on the bad or let me just say the bad decisions that has been made by government. The reason I'm saying it is bad decision is because we've seen countries like Uganda, they're selling their fuel at a cheaper price. Why is it that the taxes in Kenya is still too high that the people of Kenya are spending a lot of money to buy or to get fuel? It is because of the bad management from the government. And the best thing they're supposed to do, if they want to take the taxes from the people, they are supposed to be coming out and clarifying to the people of Kenya why there is high fuel in Kenya, something that is not as high in other countries. Mm-hmm. They told us about G2G, government to government, that it was going to solve the issue of fuel challenges that Kenya has been having, that it was going to stabilize the price of fuels in the Republic of Kenya. What is it that we are seeing? The other day you saw them bringing or importing fuel which did not, according to them, did not come from G2G, and they were saying it was low quality. The question that we are asking, if the government had taken the initiative of taking it from G2G, why is it that they even allowed fuel to come out of G2G?
Maybe
why is it that
maybe Makobura, if that is true, that there was a way in which the fuel was there was a gas that was ordered, or fuel that was ordered besides G2G, why can't they use that alternative to get to order from the source, because it was said that it contained high percentage of sulfur.
Yeah, high sulfur. And those are the questions that people are coming. If we had a good leadership, leadership that listens, because Kenyans are not like bogey. Kenyans are not idiots. Or idiots. Kenyans are learned people. They need to get these clarifications from the people who are making these top decisions. The best thing that Mbadi would have done is coming out to give a clarification of the questions that the people of Kenya are asking, because at this point, Kenyans are in a situation where they are asking themselves, they are asking a lot of questions, and these questions cannot be answered by the leaders who are currently holding this particular, office, who are in these offices. And that is something which is not right, because Kenyans have a right. The Constitution tells us that this is a government of the people, and it is a government that should be making decisions. From the people. The people should be accepting if they want to be ruled in that manner. What we are seeing is these people are making decisions without involving the citizens, and that is wrong. They are actually not respecting the Constitution, which is very clear. So the issue of fuel, it is still going to be a serious challenge in Kenya unless we get leaders who are going to respect the people, unless we get leaders who are going to speak with the people. You did say something about the Bible, that the Bible says that let us come together and reason together. How I wish we had a government that would reason with its people together. Before making these decisions, they would involve the people so that the people are partly aware of what they are going, what is coming. But at this rate, it is very unpredictable. Nowadays, you can live in Kenya. You can't be sleeping today, but by the following morning, you'll be told that you are not even supposed to be staying in Nairobi. You carry your things and go to other regions. Those are the most difficult things that Kenyans are going through, because it is so unfair that a government would come promise the people on how the fuel is going to be reduced, of how the issue of fuel has been sorted, of how there's enough in the store that can help within that particular period. And then now you wake up and then you're told now it has increased and there's nothing you can do. If maybe Kenyans are waiting for government to come give clarification, they fail. They are not given the clarification until today when people started the demonstration. What do you expect of such a government?
Thank you so much. Msimamo labda we kauli yako ni gani kuhusiana na msimamo ambaye Waziri Mbadi alisema kuhusiana na gharama ambao watu wanapitia kuhusiana sana sana na bei ya mafuta kwenda juu? Akasema kwamba bei ya mafuta itabaki kuwa jinsi ilivyo hata kama uende ulale kwa barabara mfanye nini. Na hili linatoka kwa kiongozi ambaye labda anafaa lete suluhisho, ama anafaa kuwe mojawapo ya mtu ambaye akuwe ananyenyekea sana sana akizungumza na wananchi. Hii inakuambia nini ama inakupatia picha gani?
Kaka yangu Ben, ni kwamba naungana na ndugu yangu hapa kwamba majibu yanayotoka katika serikali yanakanganya. hili jibu ambalo amelitoa linatia ukakasi zaidi, lakini pia tukumbuke kuna lile jibu kwamba hili kwamba mafuta hapa kwetu nchini yamepanda because sisi tuko mbele ya mataifa, tumewaziri wenzetu, sisi tuko mbele zaidi kiuchumi na kadhalika. Kwa hivyo mafuta kwetu yanatumika kwa wingi zaidi ya mataifa mengine. Jibu kama hili niambie, je, linampa suluhu gani hasa mwananchi ukimweleza jibu kama hilo? Je, ukisema kwamba hata walale kwa barabara bei ya mafuta itapanda juu, je, ni kwa sababu gani ambayo unazungumza hivyo kama kiongozi? Sifa yako ni nini? Na sifa moja ya kiongozi ni kutafuta suluhu kwa wale ambao wanawaongoza. So kwa kweli kaka, mimi leo hapa sina mambo mengi, mimi langu fupi tu Mbadi, na majibu ambayo yanatoka kwa serikali ni kwamba ndio ambao wamechangia mpaka tumefikia hatua hii kwamba wamefika katika mgomo. Kwa hivyo kwa design hii ya majibu basi ni ufedhuli, ni kifua na kujenua, na sidhani kwamba hilo litaleta mwafaka, kwa sababu angetueleza kwamba ni kweli, lakini tunapanga hivi, tutasukuma hivi ili kusudi hii hali irudi katika hali ya usawa, kwa maana hili linaathiri uchumi. Sasa hivi uchumi leo umeshuka kimazima pakubwa. Sekta ya usafiri, hiyo ndio uti wa mgongo wa taifa ne? Unajua hiyo sekta so ikiwa hakuna magari yoyote yale, alafu kuna wale ambao wamejitia kichwa ndio hao pengine wamechumiwa magari, unaona. So katika mvutano, kwa kweli hakika majibu kama haya sikutegemea kwamba kiongozi kama Mbadi ambaye ana hadhi yake na ni msomi atoe majibu kama hayo ya kifedhuli. Hata mkiandamana mkikaa kwa barabara miaka nenda miaka rudi, kwa kweli mimi sijakosheka, ni ukakasi na si
Okay, asante sana. And you know, this is what I usually say about msimamo. Whether what political divide you're supporting, whether you are in 2-term, whether you are in 3-term, you are in 1-term, you are in no term, this is what is going to happen. If the issues are not resolved, if government does not take action, you know, I've seen, especially going through the internet, I'm seeing especially the bloggers that are from the government side are painting a different picture. They're talking about Kisumu and all that. Like some of them are going to the farthest and saying that this is all about central Kenya. You know, it's okay. You are allowed to do that. But the fact of the matter is, Makobura, that when it comes to economy, the economy usually, or high cost of living, usually doesn't choose that you are a one-term because your thoughts are aligned with President William Ruto thought. So it's going to be soft on you. No. The same way it hits a one-term person is the same way it's two-term person. So the best way here is government to find a solution to intervene on what is happening, because it is hurting Makobura. For instance, look at so many people woke up this morning, especially including you. You said that you were supposed to be going to work, but there were no operating services vehicles. They were not there. People did not go to school. And there's so many, the people who were going with their personal car, some of them ended up being banned. We talked about that. You know, that at the end of the day, this is going to destabilize even the economy that the president has. For 1 week alone, let me tell you, for 1 week, if people go on strike for 1 week, if they don't find solution, even the president himself with his government, they're going to feel it, because remember, they have to collect taxes. And how are you going to collect taxes if the people who are supposed to be giving you taxes are not going to work? You know? So I think it is high chance that it is high time those in the relevant authority, including the president, they should come together and come up with amicable solution. Okay, Makubura, let's go to the police because we talked about it earlier. And today, I saw quite a number of people were arrested just for protesting. And these people were just protesting, and the police were arresting them. And this one still comes to the law enforcement. Do we really know the work that we are supposed to do? One, as a protesters; two, as a law enforcement. Because when you look at they were arrested, there was no threat that they were creating. Some of them were not creating threat even to the police. These were people who were just making noise. And they ended up being arrested. When are we going to learn, Makobura?
This is part of a discussion that Kenyans have had, and not just Kenyans. And the police also should be learning. The police has had a lot of problems with the people of Kenya. There are a lot of deaths that have occurred in the Republic of Kenya, some within the police cell. And remember, the Constitution gives a clarification on the role of the police. They're supposed to be the custodian of peace. They're supposed to be ensuring that there is peace everywhere. They're supposed to be the protector of both the lives and the property. But what we've always witnessed is the police has never respected the lives of the people. Sometimes they have seemed to have respected the lives, the property more than the lives, and it is so unfortunate. I looked at how some young men were being arrested within the CBD, and it tells you that they are not doing what is right. It is, they have the right to arrest, but why would you arrest somebody who is filming, somebody who is taking a selfie, somebody who is just walking around recording? We've had a lot of people who are unemployed. What if that is how that particular person is just trying to also afford or to get his way out of ensuring that he gives the information to people and then he gets something out of it? It is so unfortunate to me. I want to condemn the manner in which the young youths were arrested, because there were people who were looting, there were people who were destroying properties. Those are the people who warrant that kind of arrest. But the ones that we saw, majority within the town, were not actually supposed to be arrested. And what really scares me is the fact that we live in a country where we have so many problems, challenges here and there. Part of the people that Kenyans are fighting for are even the police. And sometimes they seem to behave in a way that, you yourself, you cannot understand. It becomes tough to even defend them. It becomes tough to even fight for them. They've had their problems, own problems. The other day you saw a Kenyan whose house was demolished, and it was reminding the police that why are they misbehaving or behaving in a way that was not right? Why is it that they were harassing the people and yet themselves, they are not even living in a good condition? So I want to say that life has to be respected. Properties as well has to be respected. But life is more sacred than property. Let us treat human beings with a lot of dignity. Even if they're suspects, they are human beings, they are lives. Let them be treated in a manner that warrant the humanity. Let the police respect the lives. Let them do arrest, but with a lot of dignity, because it can turn the other way. These are people whose taxes are also being used to ensure that their salaries and everything within the country is in the right order. If they're coming out to cry about the fuel, it is them who are paying the taxes. The country is theirs. They have a right because the Constitution also allows them. The Constitution gives them the leeway to protest, to get out and talk or remind the government of their responsibility. There's nothing wrong. The police have always had problems with the wananchi. And what I can say is that whenever police have been sent on the ground, let them adhere to the Constitution. Let them treat human beings as human beings. Because the moment they start mistreating them, then they might be above the law within the Republic of Kenya. But beyond Kenya, we have things to do with the ICC. And the other day we saw what happened. Look at the likes, the 2007 chaos. After that, we saw police officers, representatives of police officers were also at the Hague. giving explanation and clarifying what had happened. So let them not be used also in a way that it makes the people find it tough to, to even seek for assistance within the police office, within the police setup.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Makubura, thank you so much. I don't know whether you've finished. And as I invite, one thing that also we have to learn as Kenyans, despite the fact that we are here talking about fuel, but like even what is happening, especially there are Kenyans who are finding it rough, especially on the roads. They are being attacked by the goons and rogue people, taking up their personal phones and taking money, mobile phone from them, money. What do, what are we not getting it right, Musimamo? Okay, okay, Makubura, as we still continue talking about the fuel prices and the protest and those who have lost their lives, including those are being right now being attacked by goons and taking their property. That is something that is happening.
yeah, I want to give my take on that. It is not right for people to interfere with other people's businesses, especially people who are either doing their work, people who are doing their daily work or responsibilities. Yeah, so I want to say that any person who has gone for demonstration, let them focus on their demonstration. They are not supposed to interfere with the operations or the properties of others, because the moment you shift your attention from what had brought you out,
yeah,
then you're not a good person. Those are the people that the police need to deal with, and the police knows where these particular people are. Today, I'm not a police officer, but if I know there's a demonstration, I know. If you ask me, I know the right places where the police officer should be directed. Because look at, for example, a place like Githurai. It is not that the reason why there's a lot of bad behavior in Githurai is because over there's a lot of young or many people who are young people, youths who are jobless. Whenever you have a jobless person and they in their huge number, what do you expect? You will expect them to start behaving in a way that is not right. And that is why there's also this saying that an idle mind, of course, will turn out to be something else. So that is what is happening. The police need to strategically be placed in the right places to avoid the issues of destruction. They know the places where they're supposed to be hovering around. So I want to say that any Kenyan who is in demonstration and then they come destroying or attacking people, then that is not right. Those are goons. Those are thieves. Those ones, they should be arrested and taken to the courts, and they should be answerable of their behaviors. But what about in a situation where even people are doing what is right are also being arrested, are also being threatened? That is where now there is double standard. And there's no clarification that we need to get even from the leadership.
Okay.
There is a focus. The focus should be on the people who are trying to make it tough for others to exist. Normally, those people will find that opportunity to get out and destroy or to loot. Therefore, the police needs to come out and ensure that during that particular period, in those particular areas, there is enough security. But what we've always seen is they don't do that as a way of partly also trying to tell the people that if we did not come, it is always the responsibility of the security. But it seems they're also taking sides. Yeah, which is not right.
Okay. Makubura, maybe let me answer my brother here. Brother, the police should use proper force to people pretending to demonstrate while destroying other people's property. This was organized by the so-called United Opposition. I want to deviate away from that and may have a point of departure with you. Especially, we know why people went on strike. It was not organized by the United Opposition. The strike was called with so many sectors, especially in transport. And if you look at your Laban, if you look at, you're contradicting yourself. If you look at your comment, you talk about Hamush somewhere, which means the fuel prices has been caused by the war that was taking place, and that is what the government is telling us, including Mbadi, and we agree. And we are looking at what are the solutions. So it was not organized by the opposition. If it could have been organized by the opposition, which means the fuel prices could have been stabilized. Again, if today, right now, as I'm speaking to you, the Matatu's owners as official, they are in conversation right now with the government official to reach a deal so that the strike should not continue tomorrow. So it is not about Laban. It is not about opposition, especially. And sometimes when we have a crisis like this that affects the daily living of every Kenyans, I think we should deviate away from the daily politics that we usually because we usually do, because it doesn't bring any change. When you look at the cost of living has not gone up only for the 2-term or for the 1-term. No, it has gone up for everybody who is supporting this government and those who are not supporting government. It is something that has cut across the board. It's affecting all Kenyans, and that's why they are having this meeting. If it was organized by United Opposition, that one cannot give threat to government. So I think Laban, we need to reach a point whereby we separate politics of the day and the issues that are affecting people. We've come here and condemned especially those who went for protest and looted. And it's not the first time that we are experiencing this issue. And that is the question that we ask ourselves, that where are we not getting it right? Even during the time when the Sufuria movement was taking place, there was also looting. We saw that every time we are having protest in whatever manner, we've always seen the people who come with very wrong intention. And when they come with the wrong intention, they loot these businesses. And that's where the question, when are we going to learn as a country that if we have a problem that is facing us as a country, why should we then go out of our way and attack those premises that where our brothers are working, where our sisters are working, where tomorrow they will go and work, rather than doing a peaceful protest? So as a country, it has always been a problem with us, not only on this protest that we've had from but since time immemorial. So let us separate politics out of when we are calling out things that are not supposed to be done, especially by Kenyan. You have also the police. They should make sure that when people are protesting, their main agenda, especially to protect the property and of the people. So which means the government knew very well that people are going to protest. They know the massive the hunger that people have, and people are going to protest. What do? You have to organize yourself well and place the police officers in strategic, especially in this business position, so that people, those who have like hidden agenda, should not infiltrate the protest and cause harm to the people. That is what we are talking about. It is not about being organized by so and so, Laban. This is something that is affecting people across the board. That is what we are talking about. What are the mechanisms that government can put in place to curb this? When we are talking about Mbadi saying that whether you go on the street and all you do that, this is going to stay like this, then the economy is hurting. Kenyans are hurting. People are not going to school. Yeah. Instead of coming up with such like finality without giving a negotiation at a time, it doesn't sound well. At the end of the day, we are dealing with Kenyans. Kenyans, the people who gave you the mandate even to be in that office. So it is not about the United Opposition. It is about Kenya now. That is what we are speaking about, Mr. Laban. Go ahead, Makobura. Musimamo. Msimamo kama uko na jambo.
Mimi ni chupa. Lakini langu mimi ni dogo, ni la polisi. Unajua, nimefuatilia visa vingi ambavyo vinafungana na ndugu zetu hawa maaskari, lakini
Msimamo.
ni kwamba unakuta
Msimamo.
Unanipata?
Msimamo, samahani kidogo.
Mhm.
Okay, Laban, stop giving Gachagua unnecessary attention. Sometimes you create these things going too far. You're giving Gachagua unnecessary attention for no good reason. You're even making him become popular. Address the issue. Leave Gachagua his own politics. And this is the problem that especially we have in politics. We usually divert attention. Instead of talking about issues that can benefit, we tend to give Gachagua attention for no good reason. For no good. It's not going to help. Let us talk about issues that can at least see us. What are we going to do? What is the government going to do so that these fuel prices can go down and at least the life can go back to normalcy, instead of bringing issue of Rigathi Gachagua in issues like this, Go ahead, Msimamo.
Kwa hiyo ni kwamba nimefanya visa vingi haswa. Kuna mahali hapo nimeona kwamba wameenda kuzima maiki mahali, then walipojua wasema mimi nimetumwa order from, ndio akaulizwa ni order ya nani? Mpaka mnatuzimia maiki hapa. So the neno tumepewa order kutoka kwa nani? Je, majukumu yale ambao wanafungamana nayo kwamba wanafaa kulinda wananchi pamoja na mali zao yako nje? Ni lazima mwenye kupeana order ndio afanyiwe kazi yake. So unakuta kwamba wale wanafanya hivi visa, wanaovunja maduka wanatazamwa tu, hawachukuliwi haswa. Wanafuatwa watu ambao wanaandamana kwa kuhojiwa maswali, pengine haswa lugha gungana pale kidogo, kwa sababu ya wao ni askari, mtu amezidiwa maswali. Kwa mfano mmoja nimeona akiulizwa kwamba hivi kweli unafuata sheria haswa vikamilifu, mbona unajiingiza kwa siasa automatically kama unapata order from above? Ni mwananchi anamuuliza askari direct. Unakuta kwamba sasa wale wahuni wanaachiliwa ili kusudi ndio itoke kwa media kwamba haya maandamano yanafaa kusitishwa kwa sababu yanaharibu mali. Unaona, piana visa vya utovu wa usalama. So katika hii hali unakuta kwamba ni mchezo wa paka na panya huu. But the real issue, if kama hii mafuta hii shida ya mafuta ingetatuliwa kwa wakati, kwa sababu mafuta haya si ya mwanasiasa, si ya mrengo, kama ulivyotangulia kusema ndugu yangu Ben, ni ya Wakenya wote. So for real, hili litawekwa katika siasa kwamba waliopanga hawa ni kwa sababu hawa ni hawa wapinzani, kama ndugu yangu labda anavyolieka hapa kujaribu kupaka rangi ama kubandika kiraka nguo iliyochajuka, iliyochakaa. Hii ni mafuta. Hii mafuta ni ya kila mtu. Mafuta yakienda 215 ni ajabu. Mimi sasa bajaji yangu hakuna kitu ambacho ninapata sasa hivi. Kijana nazunguka huko jioni narudi hapa. Naenda nakopa kula. Kwa sababu ametengenezea mafuta tu. Na abiria ukimwambia kwamba mahali ni kwa haswa huku haswa mashambani, kwamba mahali ni kwa shilingi 500, na sasa hivi itabidi nikuongezee shilingi 800 na mimi nipate 300, ama shilingi 200 nipate 700. Unaona mtu anakataa. So unakuta unabambanya mwisho wa siku umenunua mafuta ya 400 umepata shilingi 100. Ukija ukirudi mafuta hamna. Unaanzia hapo. Itakuwa ni kitu ambacho kinaumiza kwa kweli. Unaona? So siasa hapa iondolewe utepetevu wa viongozi kwamba wamefocus na jinsi gani watabaki kwa mamlaka. Huu ndio mwanzo ambao wameweza kuchelewa kuweza kulitatua hili. Sasa la floods juzi lilitokea Nairobi mara ya kwanza, mara ya pili juzi ikatokea tena, na wanajua fika kwamba mambo lazima atafunga. Lakini je, mikakati ilikuwa gani mpaka limezuka, limesomba, limefanya kila kitu? Ndio kama ile la maandamano. Halingefika ile la maandamano na mgomo huu wa magari kama lingetufanywa Tanzania lingetatuka mapema. So nimegundua viongozi wetu wanaingia mahali kwa siasa na wanapokea order kwa mtu mwingine tofauti, kwa wamejiingiza katika visa vya siasa kutekeleza kinyume na kile ambacho ni maadili yetu. Ndio maana hawa wahuni wamepata mwanya kuweza kuvunja wengine maduka. Mimi nitaachia pale kaka yangu Bene. Asante.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You can see Simba is here. Allow me to give him an opportunity to also give his views. Simba. Simba, are you there? Do you want to give your views? Okay. Yeah, so we'll proceed then. Maybe msimamo kabla tufunge. Sijui kuna yepi ya kusema. But again, kabla tufunge, James Orengo, the governor of Siaya, was in Homa Bay today, and of course he was received by quite a huge number of people. Na nataka kukuuliza msimamo, maoni yako ni yepi kuhusu hiyo about that particular campaign, I mean meeting that James Orengo had with the people. Msimamo in Homa Bay County, where he did remind the people that they have a responsibility to ensure that things goes well, and that the negativity that is being brought forth in ODM should end. He reminded them that he is ready to take over from Raila and that he is not as old as others are saying. Msimamo, you'll give us your take on that and then your final remarks.
Kwa kweli kaka, nimepepesa jicho zaidi upande wa maandamano. Si kufuatilia kabisa hili la Mheshimiwa Orengo. Kwa kweli itabidi nizamie ndio niweze kulielabua zaidi. Kwa kweli hata kuniuliza swali zitakuwa ni ngumu kujibu kwa sababu kwa kweli sikuingia kabisa. Lakini hapa kunimalize kwa kusema hivi. Kuna wakati wa kuweka ushabiki panapostahili. Siasa ikinoga tuwekeni ushabiki hapo na vijembe. Lakini tusiweke ushabiki mpaka kwenye jambo la kimsingi, jambo ambalo linatuathiri wote. Brother Ben, this was a Gachagua goodbye for Kenyans while living for begging in London. Sasa hili na mafuta ni wapi na wapi ndugu yangu Laban? Aenda ombe huko sawa, wacha ombe. Lakini hii mafuta inamwaffect nani? Gachagua. Mimi inatuaffect sisi haswa kama wananchi. So hili ni jambo ambalo linatija, hakuna haja ushabiki hapa na kuingiza siasa mrengo na mrengo huu. Mafuta hayana cha mrengo kaka. Na hili nalizungumza kwa wale ambao wana negative thoughts kama hizi za huyu kaka hapa. Nikimalizia kwamba ikifikia jambo ambalo ni letu linatukabili wote kama wananchi, let's stand kama wananchi na tuone kwamba sauti zetu tunazipata ili haswa jambo hilo lifanyike kwa haraka zaidi, ili haswa wananchi tuondokane, kwa sababu hakuna jinsi ambavyo tutaweza kueleweka zaidi ya kuweza kupaza sauti zetu juu ama mgomo kama hii ama maandamano. So katika hili swala tunafaa tufungamane, maana hili ni letu sisi, hii ndio nafasi yetu kama wananchi. Kwa hapa kwamba tunaharibu nchi yetu kwa mikono yetu wenyewe, mimi nashangaa kama kweli haswa tukae mpaka lini? Tuendelee haswa kuongezewa mafuta juu because tukiandamana tunaharibu nchi. Na kuandamana siku mbaya ama mgomo huu ni gara zinatoka barabarani. Haya sasa kulikuwa na lipi tangia asubuhi tulikuwa tunashuhudia watu wote wameshangaa, hawawezi enda kazi, kila mtu ameshangaa. Hakuna msukumano ule wote. Purukushani hii inasababishwa tu na watu makusudi, ili watu wapata sababu ya kuweza kusukumana kule na kule, ili lionekane kwamba hili jambo ni baya. Na tuliyashuhudia haswa maandamano mengi mpaka wakati ule wa mwenda zake marehemu baba haswa gari yake likinunua risasi. Kwani alikuwa ananunua risasi kwa kosa gani? Lakini unakuta kwamba kauli hii kwamba alikuwa anaharibu nchi na mali na haribu biashara, alikuwa tunaisikia wakati huo. So isichukuliwe kwamba kila maandamano tu ama kila giza tu basi ni baya. Sometimes giza pia ni jema, na si kila mwangaza pia ung'aao kwamba una nuru. Sometimes ni mashaka matupu. Kwa hiyo mimi nitaachia pale ndugu yangu Mark, sina usemi, lakini fungu letu tujiangalia, sio fungu letu haswa kama wananchi ndipo. Huu shabiki huu ukitutawala sisi wenyewe ndio tutaongoza nchi yetu kwa kuwaeka haswa viongozi ambao hawana tija haswa katika ile taifa, wako kwa ajili yao na kwa manufaa yao, kisha warudi wakitupa misaada kana kwamba haswa hatukai katika hili nchi ama ni wakimbizi. Asante.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Laban and to say a big thank you to Laban, Judith, June Wesley, Brenda, Lucky, Mike, Sharon, Ento, and everyone who joined us tonight. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate and say a big thank you for always finding time to be with us. We are live on Brother Benson Media and also our sister channel, Kikaona Sauti. If you're watching for the first time, we request you to kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.